الحمد لله رب العالمين يا رب. اللهم اجعل أول هذا النهار صلاحا ووسطه فلاحا وآخره نجاحا. اللهم بلغنا مما يرضيك أعمالنا، واشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ولي الصالحين، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده وحبيبه ورسوله. سيدي أبا القاسم يا رسول الله، صلى عليك الله يعلم الهدى، وأشهد أنك بلغت الرسالة وأديت الأمانة ونصحت الأمة وكشفت الغمة وجاهدت لله حق جهاده. عباد الله، يقول الله تبارك وتعالى في محكم تنزيله: يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء، واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم، ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله، وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، وكل محدثة بدعة، وكل بدعة ضلالة، وكل ضلالة في النار. My dear brothers and sisters, I greet you all with the greeting of peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. All praise is due to Allah. We bear witness and we testify that there is no deity worthy of worship except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we bear witness and we testify that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is his messenger and his slave. All salawats and salams be upon our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, upon his noble family, his righteous companions, and all those who follow his path till the last day. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, inshallah today we'll talk about this very important topic. And it's a question that I'm going to ask myself, and I'm going to ask all of you that are present here today. I don't want you to answer to me, but answer to yourself at the end of this khutbah. You know, many people come to us and they ask, Imam, what is happening with the ummah, with our ummah? How come we became so low? How come there are so many problems? And before I answer that question, I ask you, what do you think? What is your opinion? And you know what people do usually? They always blame others. It's because of this, it's because of that, it's because of media, it's because of the country, it's because of the law, it's because of this. But we always try to find excuses for ourselves. To ask ourselves, what have I done as a Muslim to contribute to our situation today? My dear brothers and sisters, remember one thing about Islam. Islam is always there to identify the problems we have, and at the same time give solutions for the problems. Remember this, Islam is not just to identify problems. We have problems, and unfortunately some of us imams, we never give solutions to those problems. So it's our fault, it's not Islam's fault. Number one. Number two, remember, when it comes to these sermons, to these khutbahs that we deliver, every imam delivers every Friday, these khutbahs are not for you to learn Islam. These khutbahs are for us to talk about the issues and challenges that the ummah faces around the world, especially Muslim community in Australia. So we have to talk about the issues that we have. Now, we saw on the news, some things happened in Texas the other day, some hostages, and then in Abu Dhabi, and all those places. And someone might say, "Well, why you talk about those problems? They're not even here." Well, let's talk about some of the problems that we have in Australia. Do you know that we Muslims in this country, we are 2.6%. According to the census 2016, we are 2.6%. We are around 600,000 Muslims in Australia. 2.6%. But what is concerning is that if you go and check the jails and prisons, out of all the people that are in prison, do you know that 10% of them are Muslim? Now, can we blame the media for that? And someone might say, when I heard this for the first time, I thought maybe the country arrested them, for terrorism and all these kind of things. No. If you check their cases, all of them have been arrested for drugs, have been arrested for theft, have been arrested for domestic violence, have been arrested, things that Islam fights all the time. And it's not just for men, even for sisters. A lot of them in prison for shoplifting, domestic violence, mother-in-laws, daughter-in-law, all these kind of family issues. These are the problems that we have in our community, my dear brothers and sisters. And these are massive numbers. When I say 10% out of 2.6%, that is a lot. And that is embarrassing, and that is concerning. And some people say, it's not my fault. My family is good. I'm not stealing. I'm not saying it is your fault. I'm not saying it's my fault. I'm talking here as a community, as brotherhood, as brothers and sisters in Islam. Where the problem is. And on top of all this, what makes things even worse is that our children started to leave Islam. They started to leave Islam. And not many people talk about these issues. We only talk about good things, but not many imams or people dare to talk about people that are leaving Islam. Especially our children who are born and raised in this country. The question I ask myself as an imam and as your brother here, and you ask yourselves, have I contributed something for the community to have these challenges, to have these problems? Have I done enough as an imam and as a Muslim and as a citizen of this country to help Muslims understand the true meaning of Islam? Have you done enough as a Muslim? Have you done enough as a family? Have you done enough as a community to help our brothers and sisters out there, who some of them don't even know Islam at all? They're only born in Muslim family, mashallah, with Muslim names, but they don't know much or anything about Islam. And the other issue, which is they try to cover this, is they say is the honor of the family if there is any child abuse or any domestic violence. And it happens within the family. They say, no, because if we expose this, what other people are going to say about the family, what they're going to say about the uncle for child abuse and all these kind of things. Wallahi. If you cover these kind of crimes, it's a major sin in Islam. Because these crimes are not between them and Allah. These crimes are towards other people. If someone sells drugs to our children to poison them, and for a second you think that no, because Prophet said we have to cover each other's sins. No, sins that are between them and Allah. If you see someone drinking, that is none of your business to tell other people, because that is between him and Allah. If someone sells drugs, if there is any child abuse, we have to be the first ones to call the authorities. So remember this, my dear brothers and sisters. We can't just say, simply, I don't know why we have these issues. I don't know, and we try to blame other people, and we try to find excuses for ourselves. Now, these are the problems that we have. And if I start to mention all of them, stay here all day, but at least you get the picture of the issues that we Muslims are facing in this very country, even though we are 2.6% Muslims. Now, let's go back to the question I asked. Why do we have it? Why the Ummah is so low now? Where is that izzah? Where is that, that pride as Muslims we used to have and as Islam? Where is it? Where has it gone? Who damaged the image of Islam? It's not the media, it's not the non-Muslims. The people that damage the image of Islam the most are us Muslims. So remember, my dear brothers and sisters, one of the things that we have to stop, because blaming other people, blaming the family, blaming the community, it's easy. Let's start with ourselves. Because some people have issues, not just in the community, not just in the family. They have issues within their own hearts. And this is where we should start first. To cleanse our hearts from these spiritual diseases. We don't want to see our brother that, he, mashallah, Allah has blessed him with children. Allah has blessed him, he bought a car or he bought a house. Instead of being happy for him, what do we do? What do we feel? We feel sadness. Why? Because there is something wrong with our hearts. So let's start and cleanse our hearts. And remember, my dear brothers and sisters, remember the ayah in the Quran that we read this every single time that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Inna Allah la yughayyiru ma biqawmin hatta yughayyiru ma bi anfusihim. Allah will not change the situation of the people until they start to change themselves first. So we can easily say, let's change, these Arab countries, and we blame everyone. Whatever they do over there is their problem. We focus on our issues that we have here in front of us, within our families. Families are breaking up every single day. Our kids, we don't know where they are because they take drugs. They end up in prison. And a lot of us parents, including myself, we ask ourselves, has it been a good decision for me coming to this country? I came to this country to give a better life to my children. And now I see that my children, God knows where they are. Some of them, subhanAllah, even ended their own lives. And some of them died in prison. So these are the issues that we have. And some of them, Allah forbid, even left Islam. They left Islam and they preach other religions. Wallahi, this is sad. Because we're talking about our own people, our own brothers, our own sisters, our own families. Imagine them dying in this state. There's no hope for them. There's no hope for them. So my dear brothers and sisters, remember this verse of the Holy Quran. Unless we start to change ourselves, Allah will not bring about change here. We have to start within ourselves first. As I said, we can't just blame others, we can't just blame families, we can't just blame this. As Umar ibn Khattab, when he became Khalifa, he said one statement to his companions. The same way he delivered Khutbah, he said, hold yourself to account before you are brought to account. Remember, we talked about this topic. Before it's too late for tears, when you stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that will be too late to cry. That will be too late to repent. That will be too late to come back, because no one will come back. Let's start here. Let's start to account ourselves. Let's start to judge ourselves and put ourselves in account and say, hey, what am I doing? And before you do something, the second thing is, remember, every single thing, every single action that you start in your life, if you want to get blessings, barakah, start with Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Before you enter in the car, before you open the door, before you enter inside the mosque, before you do anything, because when you say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in in the name of Allah, Allah the most compassionate, the most merciful, it will be less chance for you to do something bad, to commit a crime. But first you have to understand what it means to say in the name of Allah. You have to understand it's not just memorizing like a parrot. When you start something with Bismillah, you understand that you started that action in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And what that means also, that Allah is watching you and me. You remember when we talked about al-ihsan and tu'minu billah ka'annaka tara, to believe in Allah like you see. فَإِن لَمْ تَكُنْ تَرَاهُ فَإِنَّهُ يَرَاكَ. Even though you don't see Him, remember that Allah always sees you. Whether you're alone, whether you're in public. You know, nowadays, judging someone from outside, you know, it's easy. We see someone, mashallah, you know, wearing this, doing this, but how do we know what's hidden within their hearts? That is between that person and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We're not able to judge that. And some of the scholars have said, because you know, we have the knowledge. If I ask any one of you, any one of us, even our children, do you know what is haram? Do you know that it's haram to steal? Everyone knows that it's haram to steal. And by the way, mashallah, you know, we Muslims, and with all due respect to all of you that are here, you know that it's this welfare, they claim this, mashallah, they abuse the system. If you want to know all the loopholes in government and the laws, ask Muslims. Mashallah, they are experts to find ways to cheat, to whatever. Wallahi, this is not part of Islam. Doesn't matter who you cheat. It doesn't have to be a Muslim. What did the Prophet said? Man ghashana falaysa minna. He didn't say man ghasha Muslim. He said, man ghashana, whoever cheats, whether against government or whoever, he's not amongst us. So every time that you deal with whoever, think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching you and is watching you. And this is when your name is, and our name is Muhammad, and my name is this, and then people are going to say he's a Muslim. Whether you practice or not, it doesn't really matter at that stage. Just remember the hadith of our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. My dear brothers, wallahi, if you go back and read the Izzah of Islam during the time of the Prophet and the companions, you know that pride of Islam, that you know Islam was you know Muslims and science and everything, was proud to be a Muslim. Nowadays we hide our identity because of what is happening. Our Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, he said, a Muslim is someone from whose tongue and hands other Muslims are safe. And a mu'min, a true believer, is someone in whom all humankind is safe with their life and property. So Muslim is first stage. If you want to be a mu'min, a believer, is a higher stage. Now, when Prophet ﷺ said a true believer is who other people are safe from your tongue and your actions, are other people safe from our tongue? Don't talk about other people. Let's talk within our Muslim community here. How do we judge people? All we talk about, you see this, his beard is not long enough. You see this sister hasn't got hijab. Do you see he's wearing pants? Do you see his... What is wrong with us? To the point that we think that Islam is all about these things. There is no such thing as libas sunnah. There is no such thing as the clothes as sunnah. There is no such thing, as the scholars mentioned, Ibn Qayyim and the rest. There is no such thing. Doesn't matter whether you wear white or you wear a tie or you wear whatever you wear, it is the same thing. Now we shouldn't judge people based on those things. And another hadith, when the companions, he told the Prophet, he's not a true believer. They asked, Ya Rasulullah, who is that person? Prophet replied, one whose neighbor is not safe from his mischief and from his sins. Wallahi, we have seen this. You know, when the neighbors find out that a Muslim family is coming down the road, what they do? They panic. Why? Because we get the rubbish to throw over the fence. Whatever we do, we show no respect to our neighbors. In the past, neighbors embraced Islam because of their Muslim neighbors. The way that Muslims used to treat them. You know that they used to share food with them. They used to see if you need any help, we're always here for you. They used to greet them all the time. Now if I ask majority of us here, do you know your neighbors, who they are? How many of us, we said, my neighbors for 7 years, I don't even know who they are. You never knock on their door to say, my name is Muhammad, I'm Muslim. Will you say that or not? If you need anything whatsoever, please come to me. I am your neighbor. Did we do that? And that is part of Islam. And that's why I go back to the question that people ask. Why we as Muslim Ummah, we have become so low to the point that we're not even proud to call ourselves Muslims anymore. It's not Islam's fault, it's our fault. So my dear brothers and sisters, in a nutshell, let us all start from ourselves, from our hearts. Let us all cleanse our hearts from these diseases that we have towards one another. Let us not judge other people. Let us start with ourselves. Before you point the finger, look yourself in the mirror. I have enough sins myself to worry about myself and occupy myself with my own sins before I look at anyone else. And we should all behave the same. And number 2, start things with Bismillah. And number 3, if you can help as much as you can before it's too late. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us of those that we are good examples to other Muslims and even non-Muslims, Ya Rabbal Alameen. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us of those that He's pleased with us in this world and the next, Ya Rabbal Alameen. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us of those that we practice the true meaning of Islam, Ya Rabbal Alameen. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us of those that we respect our parents and those people who are older than us, Ya Rabbal Alameen. And to make us of those that we educate our children according to Islam, so when they grow up, they will be proud Muslims, Ya Rabbal Alameen. To make us of those that we love, we respect, we advise each other only for His sake, Ya Rabbal Alameen. To make us of those that we are able to feed ourselves and our families with halal, and to stay away from haram, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Ameen, ameen. وَقُلُوا قَوْلِ هَذَا وَاسْتَغْفِرُ اللَّهَ لِي وَلَكُمْ فَاسْتَغْفِرُوهُ سيستغفر الله إنه هو الغفور